Hello students, I'm Himani Sharma, your educator. I warmly welcome you all on our YouTube platform where we in today's video are going to discuss about something really very important. Now you know that when you're preparing for your paper 2, right, there are certain concepts that you are supposed to take care of. Now if we try to talk about specifically the paper 2 English literature that I will be dealing with you guys, so there the major chunks, the major, fields and aspects from where the majority of questions are posed or asked is literary theory, literary criticism and cultural studies. Now, when we talk about literary criticism and literary theory, one question that generally pops up in a student's mind is this, that what is the differentiation between the two? Now, let me clear this one thing before we directly jump into what is post-structuralism. Literary criticism is criticizing the works of, something, the genres and all. If we try to talk about Dryden, if we try to talk about Sidney, who talks about the genre of poetry. But if we try to talk about literary theory, it is a specific theory from where we are going to gain certain aspects and we can apply the same theory on any piece of work that we come across, any piece, any book, any short story, drama for that matter that we read. Correct? So, literary theory is basically an application of the theory which is described. Now, in this video, we are going to talk about a very, very important thing that is known as a very important theory, post-structuralism. Now, you guys must be knowing this thing that structuralists, we are going to, delve deep into and understand what and how it was different from the structuralist point of view. The structuralists, if I try to talk about with you guys here, were the ones who were saying that each and everything that exists anywhere, it has a bound structure. If I am wearing certain clothes, it's because of some sort of structure that is there in the society. So they used to say, this was their motto, that structure is one thing which is governing anything, right? So everything is governed by structures. On the other hand, if we try to talk about post-structuralism, when post-structuralists came, they were of the point of view that we do not believe in fixed and stable meaning, structures, etc. that the structuralists were posing. So we can say that post-structuralists were the ones who were challenging the notions of the fixed strata, the fixed structures that the structuralists posed about. ठीक है, तो structuralists were saying कि structures होते हैं, post-structuralists on the other hand were saying no, there is no one universal structure. हर एक चीज में there is plurality which is it. Correct? Let's just now jump and move on to the other thing. So here, if I show you guys this particular picture, you guys will not really be able to understand it. But a post-structuralist can make meaning out of it, any meaning, and that meaning would be considerable, right? It's not like कि अगर absurd meaning दे दिया तो वो meaning consider नहीं किया जाएगा. The meaning still would be considered if you are viewing things from a post-structuralist's point of view. Moving forward, let's just see. It has post-structuralism, was one thing which developed at around 1960s. And from which theories it developed? Pehle to structuralism came and then post-structuralism came after structuralism. Of course, the name itself is self-explanatory, right? So, though major theorists, though major theories were there, if we try to talk about, one was anthropology, the second one was linguistics. Anthropology was one thing which was associated majorly with Levi-Strauss, and on the other hand, if we try to talk about linguistics, Ferdinand de Saussure was one such figure who was a prominent figure in the structuralist's point. Right? So, structuralism may say it has its roots, of course, but it's going to challenge those roots as well, talking about that plurality is something which exists. Now, why am I time and again using the words unstable meanings? Why am I using the word plurality time and again? Because these keywords are going to help you in understanding the differentiation between structuralism and post-structuralism. ठीक है? Search for the underlying scientific structure of a phenomena. This was structuralism. Then it has certain things which are related to Freud and Marx, and we will see in the upcoming videos that there were certain theorists who were post-structuralist Marxists, who were post-structuralist psychoanalysts. So they were the ones who believed in 2 or 3 theories simultaneously, and they tried to use the same theories in their works, in their particular advent or discovery of some sort of phenomena, right? So if we talk about post-structuralism, is the one thing which deals with theorists like Althusser, Marxism ke saath, Lacan, who was a psychoanalyst. Barthes, now an interesting thing to note down here, Barthes was one person who first of all was a structuralist, then he became later on in his life, when around 1960s post-structuralism was there, right? It was emerging as a field. Barthes was one person who then shifted from structuralism to post-structuralism. So that thing you will see in his works as well, कि उनके जो 1960s से पहले वाले works है, they will be talking majorly about the structuralist point of view. 1960s के बाद वाले works में we will see that they are the ones where majorly post-structuralism stance is given, right? Foucault, very, very important, theorist here, who is going to talk about the role of episteme, knowledge, discourse, be it written or oral ones, right? So, post-structuralists say that there is no fixed structure behind any cultural phenomena. Where we have Foucault, Deleuze is majorly associated with postmodernism as well, right? Derrida, Jacques Derrida, right? So let's just now try to draw a parallel between the two, because that is very much important for you to understand what is post-structuralism if it is not related to structuralism at all, right? So dono mein differences, let's just see. Time period 1950s to 1980s was the time period where structuralism was there. On the other hand, in the beginning of the video only I told you that around 1960s, post-structuralism as a field started developing. And post-structuralism is something which is, even present in today's time, right? People do have those point of views. Central concern for structuralists is the discovery of universal structures which are underlying language, culture and thought. So majorly they say that our language, culture, thought, they are governed by some sort of structure. Okay? This is what the structuralists believe. And they say that that structure is universal regardless of any culture, regardless of any thought, regardless of wherever a person is living. If I'm saying that a phone is, just of Nokia, this is a structuralist point of view. And a structuralist, if he or she said that, that would be considered the universal truth by the other structuralist. On the other hand, if I give the example of the post-structuralists, they say that fluidity and instability is there. We do not know if one thing has a certain meaning only. Language itself is something which can have its contrasts, its contradictions and all, right? So if I talk about a phone, it's not just of Nokia, but there might be other companies as well, such as Xiaomi, such as Samsung, such as Motorola and all, right? So they say we cannot say only one thing is majorly important or only one structure exists. There are many other things which we do not even know of that can also exist, right? Next point of view is their approach to find meaning is, structuralists' approach is to find and assume that there are stable and fixed structures, meanings out there. But on the other hand, a post-structuralist, as I already from the beginning of the video have been telling you guys, that plurality according to them is something which should be celebrated. Plurality is something which exists. Even if I say the word power, I majorly give this example in my classes as well, that if I utter the word power here, some viewers out of all my students who are watching the video right now, they will be thinking that power, by power, Himani ma'am means spiritual power, right? Some might say it is materialistic power. Some can say it's physical form of power as well. This is what the post-structuralists are saying. कि power का एक meaning नहीं है. There are multiple layers of meanings which could be taken care of and which could be considered if a person is uttering certain words, if a person is using certain terms and terminologies, right? So that is there. Then we have language. The structuralists believe that there is one fixed relationship between a signifier and the signified. The mind ka concept and the image that is created. It has a certain stable meaning. On the other hand, post-structuralists again won't believe that, right? They will see that fluid and plural relationship might exist from one way to the other, right? Binary oppositions, structuralists, they do believe in the binary oppositions for understanding concepts. What is binary? Even if we try to use it in majorly the terms of computer system, binary system, right? Because computer understands the language of two digits, that is 0 and 1. If we try to talk about it in the terms of structuralism here, if I write the word black here and ask for its opposite, you guys suddenly would be thinking of white, right? If I write good, you guys will suddenly be thinking of bad. If I write boy, you guys will be thinking of a girl, right? So the structuralists say that yes, of course, these inherent structures do exist and they exist with the binary oppositions, right? Here, binary oppositions are taken care of, but they are deconstructed, revealing the complexities and multiple meanings. If I am talking about the word boy, am I using it in the terms of a boy who is below 13 years and who is above 13 years, right? That is something, the complex nature of that is deconstructed. Binary oppositions, both of them will be taken care of. Human subject, they see the human subject is stable and coherent, that it is the way society lets it move and all. On the other hand, post-structuralists say that human subject is fragmented. It is multiple and can be socially constructed the way society wants it to, the way he or she also wants to behave, right? That's totally up to them. Their personality is not at all dependent on something. They can choose how they want to be treated, how they want to be socially constructed if we try to use the terminologies. The structuralists, they view and overlook the power dynamics in structures. They do not consider them majorly. They consider language as something which is majorly important, but not the power dynamics. But if we try to talk about post-structuralists, they do work on power relations. And with power relations, I try to mean here we will have a major theorist with the name of Michel Foucault. Foucault would be one such person who will be trying to talk about how the person, the group, etc. in the society which is in power, how it will make some sort of influence on the ones who are below him or her or who are below that particular group. Correct? So, any propaganda, if one person or a group is trying to spread it through their use of their power, the discourse that they are going to use, be it oral or written, they are going to be, that thing is going to be seen in the subjects. So, the post-structuralists are going to see those power dynamics, the complex relationship between the two. दोनों में देखेंगे कि अगर कोई ऊपर power में है, if certain law is made, what and how the people are going to follow it, right? And if the opposite person comes in power, then what will happen? This is what the post-structuralists would see. Key figures related to, structuralism are Ferdinand de Saussure, Claude Lévi-Strauss. On the other hand, with post-structuralism, we have Jacques Derrida, who is majorly associated with the theory, which is somewhere or the other, the application of post-structuralism, that is deconstruction. So, Derrida is associated majorly with deconstruction, which is a subpart of post-structuralism. We have Michel Foucault, we have Roland Barthes and other theorists as well. These are the major ones, right? Literary analysis, the structuralists look for deep structures and universal themes. They try to view the reality as objective. On the other hand, if we try to talk about the post-structuralists, they will try to view the reality as something which is subjective, which does not have only one meaning. They will try to find out different meanings. Let's just say if I am giving you one novel to read, I am giving you Toni Morrison's novel, The Bluest Eye, to read. I have given the same novel to 5 students of mine, right? A person, a student with, some point of view would come in the class and try to find out the themes. And I asked all of them to try to find out the themes. Each and every person might have a different point of view regarding the theme in their minds. And I would totally accept and appreciate that plurality. But if I am teaching in class and I just thought that only one major theme is important and I taught that universally, that would be me being a structuralist. But if I am, talking about multiple meanings, multiple themes in The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, then I would be one such person who is accepting the plurality, who is holding the post-structuralist point of view. So they emphasizes textual openness, ambiguity, that one thing can have a different meaning, right? They can view that. Intertextuality, that some chunk of the previous text can exist in the texts that are present there. So the text, if I try to talk about a particular work, it is something which already has been written by multiple other writers as well. Correct? So that is intertextuality, that all the texts are already interlinked with one another, and the instability of meaning, the plurality and the flexibility are already told you. So, post-structuralist map में we see that Foucault is a major figure, Roland Barthes is there, Gramsci, if we try to rule out the majority here, right? So, source से ली गई है ये, and Claude Lévi-Strauss की anthropology से this has already been taken. We have Lacan, we have Bataille, we have Bakhtin, right? Who is also a major figure in the literary theory. So, all these things, if you want to take a screenshot of the post-structuralist map, you can. Because this is an overlapping field which would be coming and being taken care of by the other theories which will be developed afterwards as well, right? So let's just try to look at a very simple example here. Is someone you care about getting involved with post-structuralism? Right? There is this one woman on call. She says that my son has been recently using the term knowledge in the plural. Should I be worried? This is one person asking about the same thing, asking a question to one of her friends and all. Unfortunately, this might be a symptom of reading Foucault, because Foucault is one such person who is majorly associated with this term episteme, which literally means knowledge. And we can acquire knowledge through different ways. We can acquire knowledge through authority. We can acquire knowledge through our senses, right? We can acquire knowledge through our gut feeling and all. So, how this particular word is being used and how Foucault has tried to establish a close relationship between the two is something to be, really curious about. Let's just read. Refer to human nature in a conversation and then observe your son's reaction. This is what she says. So, knowledge को अगर plurality में ले रहे हैं, of course, a post-structuralist point of view would try to use the same subjectivity and multiplicity of meanings, right? Then we have another example here, that it did not matter if other people liked it. Frank was a post-structuralist and his creation was good enough for him. Even if he is cutting a tree, even if he is not creating something out of it, but he had a meaning which only means something to him. That is something that I do not want, that multiple meaning, that single meaning, that multiplicity of meanings, that people are going to view this just as some sort of log, some sort of tree which is being cut. But to Frank, it might mean some sort of creation that he wanted to create. This is meaning making. And meaning making according to the individual preference, that is post-structuralist, right? So, we have other examples as well, like social media identity, like Instagram. Individuals construct fluid identities, challenging the notion of a fixed self. You might have heard this particular maxim that the way you appear on your social media might not be the way that you are in your real life. So, how the plurality of your individual self is also constructed, that is also something to be looked down upon as something जो post-structuralism के साथ related है. Then news framing, different news outlets framing the same event differently could be an example of post-structuralism. Classroom power dynamics. The authority of the teachers and expectations on the students are socially constructed, aligning with post-structuralist view on power relations. The way Foucault is trying to talk about them, that who will be in power, whatever idea would be spread by the power, the other things, the people who are under that power will try to grasp it, right? This is how Foucault will try to talk about the power relations specifically. Political ambiguity. The politicians, they use ambiguous language in speeches reflect the post-structuralist understanding that language does not have a simple meaning. I gave you an example of the word power, right? So that thing could be there. If one person uses it in their point of view, that thing could be constructed differently. If I am viewing something, agar main ek hill pe khadi hu and I'm looking down, it would be very easy for me to get down that hill, right? But the person who is viewing the same hill and wants to climb that up, uske liye usi hill ko chadna would be completely different, right? So the thing remains the same, the views differ. This is what the post-structuralists view. Branding and symbolism. Companies strategically use symbols in branding to construct meaning. That is something, अगर कोई भी एक symbol use किया जा रहा है, that symbol could be taken off and by the person who is viewing that ad according to their own understanding of the symbol, right? So this is what we were supposed to cover in today's video, where I tried to introduce you with a very important field in literary theory that is known as post-structuralism. I will catch you up guys in another video. Till then, you guys keep on studying. Thank you so much and have a good day. Bye-bye.